An AI system.
AI systems.
AI.
80% of all AI projects fail to meet their intended targets or get a return on investment. You've got to slow down. If you are a business leader feeling fear right now around AI, I want you to slow down. This is an incredible tool that enables new experiences that were previously impossible to scale. Earlier this year, RAND, an organization that helps improve decision-making and policy within businesses through their research, looked at and analyzed in a deep way the success rate of AI projects as they are being deployed into enterprise environments. And they found a shocking statistic. 80% of all AI projects fail to meet their intended targets or get a return on investment. They outline a few key ways in which AI has struggled to be deployed in a meaningful way. And I think that is directly in contrast with the amount of crazy hype that we are seeing in the world right now about AI disrupting all jobs, destroying all industries. Industry is trying to adopt AI as fast as it possibly can. Investment is massive in AI right now. It is the thing. I've found with my own business as we work with organizations to help them build, deploy, and solve complex problems using AI and AI agents, that it is so easy to sell a system to a business right now. And I'm having to actually slow my customers down and get them to focus on what we are trying to do. What problem are we trying to solve? Why are we trying to solve it? And why is AI the actual tool to use to solve this? Because AI isn't the only tool we have in the box. A lot of the time, it's not even the most appropriate tool we have in the box to solve these problems. So let's look at some of the reasons that RAND talks about in their report for these AI failures. There are primarily 5 reasons that RAND identify as the key failures, the key failure modes that organizations face when they're deploying AI projects. The first, the big one that they've found, is that organizational leaders fail to understand and identify the key problem they're trying to solve, and they miscommunicate what problem they're trying to solve to their organization in terms of the deployment of AI. I see this all the time. This doesn't shock me at all. Everyone is scared that everyone else in their niche is suddenly adopting AI, that they've got incredible systems, and if they don't adopt AI and they don't throw AI at problems, they're going to be left behind, they can't raise investment, their customers are going to think they're old-fashioned and out of touch, and they're going to migrate to their competitors. But in my experience of talking with hundreds of organizations now through our AI strategy process, where we help businesses get a strategy for AI on the table and start experimenting with AI rapidly, is that the vast majority of businesses that I have spoken to, the extent of their AI experimentation is that they have some GPT accounts, they have some people who are absolute AI nerds in the business, and they've maybe trained a custom GPT, but they haven't got the infrastructure set up, they don't have any vector stories, they don't have any retrieval augmented generation systems in place or CAG systems in place, and they don't have the capabilities and skills in-house to deploy AI. So they're rushing from fear to put AI into their business because they think their competitors are doing the same, and everyone is operating from the false assumption that they're all around the poker table and everyone else but them has got pocket aces and they've got the bad hand and they need to kind of try to improve their position. You've got to slow down. If you are a business leader feeling fear right now around AI, I want you to slow down. This is an incredible tool that enables new experiences that were previously impossible to scale, okay? So we talk a lot with consultancies about becoming high-tech, high-touch consultancies. We talk a lot with masterminds and training courses about how they can do personalization at scale. And we talk a lot with other mostly non-technical industries about how we can automate some of their key process flows so we can free up their key people to deliver that white glove service at scale. And we've got to apply your thinking to what we call the burning hair problem. We need to analyze where your business is going. What are the key friction points that are preventing you from achieving that scale, or that are causing your customers to leave you, or causing your customers not to give you word of mouth referrals. We've got to identify a business objective. And when we analyze that business objective, we can then say, is it AI? Is it just a large language model? Is it a large language model automation flow? Is it a full agent? Is it just a piece of software? Or can we just do this with a normal piece of automation technology that we've had for the last 10 years? What fascinates me is that the AI conversation has penetrated the minds of organizations to such an extent that organizations that weren't previously interested in building and deploying technology now suddenly are. And a lot of what they want to do has been possible for a long time. They just didn't think about it. And so we often don't even need AI. AI introduces amazing capabilities. It also introduces incredible complexities in that project because it is hard to control AI. It hallucinates content. It isn't under our direct control. It's not a deterministic output. That is to say, when I give it a prompt, I don't know the exact output that it's going to give me. And if I gave it that same prompt 20 different times, there would be a different output each and every time, unless I put very tight controls and restrictions on that and templates. But still within that, we would get a non-deterministic outcome. Okay. So failure mode number one, not identifying a burning hair problem in your business to actually apply AI to and solve. You've got to find the right problems to solve with this technology. Start small, look at cost-saving projects that are tightly defined, that you have a tight process around, that we can use the magical properties of large language models to solve. Get some wins early. Let's talk about the big moonshot projects later down the line as we start to skill your organization up. The second failure mode is that organizations lack the data they need to train a proprietary model in order to make that AI model effective. And I talk to people about this all the time. They're like, right, we need some data. We need to train a model in order to solve this problem. And I think a lot of the times we don't need to train models. There are incredible capabilities available in the models that we have off the shelf today. And those models can then be fine-tuned with small bits of data in order to achieve a result. In my experience, it's quite rare that we need to go all the way to the point of thinking we need to build a proprietary model that we train on our data in order to operate in our way. When we think like that, I would say it relates back to problem one. We don't have a clear problem we're trying to solve. We haven't started small and looking at effective projects that we can deploy to get a win. We're trying to go too fast, all in, and we're trying to create the God model. The AI model that for our business can do everything. And I just don't think the technology is really there to support that yet. So we like to talk about the MVP process for a model. I don't want to talk about training proprietary models from the outset. That's really expensive, it's really complex, and as you've seen from the failure modes that Rams point out, most companies don't have the data set that they need in order to do something like that. Instead, let's take the off-the-shelf model. Let's really look at the system prompt and the templates and the process and the mix of experts, if we're talking about AI agents that we're putting in place, where we can start to squeeze a lot of capability out of these models long before we need training. I've found it is much more effective to focus on prompt engineering, great templates, and that kind of deep thinking with the current capabilities of the models before we even think about fine-tuning a model. So start small, MVP it, take off-the-shelf components, really get clear on the process, get very good with your templating of your prompt, give it examples, give it positive and negative, give it a template to fill out rather than letting it just say, hey, GPT, generate me a report. You template the report and you tell it to fill in sections of that report is a much more effective use of AI. And when we do that, the need for complex training of custom proprietary models usually vanishes. Most of the time, that's because we're not being clear on what we want to solve and how we want to solve it. Okay, the third big failure mode is that companies are focused on the technology, latest and greatest technology, and not focusing on solving the problems that their internal staff have or their users have. Okay, and this is a thing, like, if your project is just AI for AI's sake, I used to have a CEO that I fell out with massively that I worked for as a product manager who used to say, sell the sizzle, we got to sell the sizzle. Where's the sizzle in this product, Lee? And I used to say the sizzle is, we've done 100 customer interviews and this is the problem that all of them want us to solve, and it's small and it's well defined and it isn't flashy, but it makes a meaningful improvement to their day-to-day lives and they will love us for it. Okay, and I scaled a product having those kind of conversations that was taking an existing product we had, removing 90% of its capabilities, making it smaller, more laser focused, based on the conversations I had with those users. And we scaled that to 2 million ARR in 12 months. Not because it was more flashy, not because it had bigger technology or more features or latest and greatest technology, because it was more focused and we did the hard work, which is talking to our customers, understanding their pain points and applying technology to solve them. Okay, right now the world of AI is moving so fast that even if you go with the latest and greatest, it's going to be outdated in 6 months anyway. So that's not where your focus should be as a business leader or a technologist in an organization. You must start with the end goal in mind, which is, what's the point of creating any technology? You are trying to create products that help your customers move from where they are to where they want to be. And in the course of that desired outcome that they have, they are meeting obstacles getting in the way. And your product helps them avoid those obstacles, hopefully in a painless way, in an enjoyable way, in a way that's better, faster, cheaper than other solutions out there on the market. If you're not applying AI to solve real problems, it is a vanity project. And we've seen so many products suddenly like launching AI features coming out their ears that don't get used, that took engineers off of critical roadmap projects that their customers would have loved them for because they felt the need to shoehorn AI into their product. Don't do that. It's not going to work, right? That's how you deploy an AI product and you go, no one's used this. Yeah, because no one requested it, because it doesn't solve any of their problems. The fourth big failure mode comes down to infrastructure. Not having the infrastructure in place in order to play the game of building compelling AI-driven experiences. We talk about this all the time here at Minimal Viable Launch. We talk about building the brain, the AI operating system for your business. A lot of people are playing around with ChatGPT, custom GPTs, etc. If you want to go beyond that point, if you want to build something that's actually remarkable, you're going to have to build the infrastructure that allows the AI to have a fighting chance of working in the real world complexity and actually solving that problem. Okay, so we talk about the brain. You've got to build the base of information. We need to store your unstructured data, your call logs and transcripts, your training videos, your training manuals, your internal documentation, the legislative documentations that, the framework you work within, whatever it is, all of the stuff that you have in the business that doesn't sit in a database but sits in your SharePoint or your Google Drive currently, that needs to be systematically stored inside of something like a vector database so that AI can start to understand what data you've got, and we can start to make that a core piece of your enterprise value, right? It is a core infrastructure piece in your business that you can build on top of that delivers results and real world value. So that is the brain. You've then got to build the retrieval system. This is like the retrieval augmented generation systems, or the CAG cache augmented generation systems in your business, so that the AI can call on these systems and say, hey, go and get me the template for our customer onboarding documentation, or we've got a support issue that a customer has raised, go and find the product documentation that helps me answer that question. If you don't have the base of information and the retrieval system, your AI agent is just going to hallucinate content. It's going to be wrong. It's going to be inaccurate. And that's where massive frustration is going to happen from your internal teams and your external teams. Okay. The A is the AI layer, the AI agent layer. This is the small systems that you're plugging on top of your base of information and your retrieval layer. We like to build AI agents that are small and focused, because when people come to me and say, I want a AI system that does all the admin in my business, I'm like, you want a God model, and the God model doesn't exist, or if it does, you can't afford to run it because you are a tiny organization, you don't have the data, you don't have the infrastructure, and quite frankly, this plays to the weaknesses of AI, not to its strengths. Small models, well-defined tasks, we look for recipes. What is the process that we're going to run through? As deterministic as possible. If this, then that, then this happens, then that. And then we use AI inside of that deterministic process to complete auto-generation of content or to action certain items, right? Small projects, small AI agents on top of your infrastructure works, right? You've got to have the inference layer, so give it a way, give it a model, give it a way to think and actually do things. And then you must build the natural language interfaces that allow you or your users to chat with your data, right? So allow them to make a prompt, make a request, and have an AI agent do it. If you don't build this infrastructure, you are stuck at a surface level of playing the game with AI, and you will be outcompeted by companies who are braver, who want to go to the depth of actually building an AI operating system into their business. I really think that the AI layer in any business is going to become as important, as integral to that business as its marketing and sales department. Those companies who have a more deeper, more sophisticated AI operating system in their business will be able to run AI agents cheaper, they will be able to do more, they will be able to have higher accuracy completions of those tasks, and they will outpace and leapfrog those businesses who have outdated systems that aren't connected, that don't store data in a way that AI can understand. And finally, the last problem is they're trying to apply AI to problems that are too difficult for the current capabilities of AI to solve. Now, hype is like at level 11 around AI right now. We have like the Diary of a CEO episode saying, all jobs are gone, all workplaces are disrupted, there's nothing left for you, poor human. I think as someone who builds AI systems, I disagree fundamentally with a lot of what was said in that episode. I'm going to have to do a react video to it at some point to deconstruct what was said there. But most businesses, they come in and they want to do the AI moonshot first. So like, we've had this big idea, we're going all in on AI, we're AI first. Let's basically radically pivot our business, and now we're going to become a technology business, and we're going to do this AI project. Okay, in some cases that makes sense. In most cases, we should be starting our experimentation with AI off in the realm of what we call AI for business ops. There are small, easy, well-defined AI experiments that you can run in your business today that would directly save you costs. To give you an example, I spoke with an organization the other week who had their CFO, for some crazy reason, typing out manually the lines of 40 different credit card reports that their staff submit to her every single month. Now, that has been easy to automate for the last 10 years, but this business now is suddenly thinking about technology because of this disruption. Great, we're going to get great productivity gains here. That is not something you should be paying your CFO to do. CFOs are expensive. Typing out rows of data is not. Even if you outsource that to a VA, you would get a return on investment of that project. But that is an easy project for AI to do and results in a net cost saving immediately and a productivity gain in the business. You don't need to focus on the AI moonshot. Your business is wildly inefficient in many, many areas, and the application of small models that are easy to do, that project would take me a day to complete and probably have it production ready after a bit of testing in the real world within a week. Okay? That's an easy project. So we talk to businesses in our 12 AI experiments workshop, which actually below, we run these every single month. It tells you how you should think about AI, how you should identify the projects in your business that you can apply AI to, and how AI is going to get you a return on investment and build that roadmap. We run that workshop every single month. If you're interested in that, link below, book your space. I will tell you how to make AI work in your business. But you've got to identify 3 layers of projects in your business. The direct cost savings, small, fast, cheap experiments that don't really require much infrastructure, that unlocks your team from the kind of boring, repetitive tasks that they shouldn't be focused on, so you can reapply their time to higher leverage tasks. That is an immediate shift in gear in the speed of growth of your business today, easy, effective, very, very likely going to get your return on investment. Start there. Build confidence. Get your team excited. Your team, when you start deploying AI agents into their business, into your business, are going to give you pushback, because this subtle thing in the back of their head is, if this works, are they going to replace me? Are they going to replace my job? And the most difficult thing about most AI projects is the culture change aspect in the organization, which I don't hear anyone talking about, is the resistance you get from the staff that you start plugging these tools in next to, right? So once you plug these small tools in and they're AI agents that they manage and collaborate with, they start seeing them as peers. And then we can start to integrate more complex AI agents into that flow. That's your cost savings layer. Start there. For the love of God, start there. Just go and put some money in the bank. Build some efficiency into the business. Build some profitability in your business, and use that free cash flow that you generate to then go to the next layer of projects, which are the revenue generating projects. And then in all of this process, as you start to dig through your business, you will find, most likely, that if you have a conversation with someone like me or other AI strategists, that there is an AI moonshot that sits within your business. There is a piece of technology or software that you could spin out, that you go all the way of systematizing your process, of bundling it up, and you can put it into a SaaS model, and that is a 7 to 8 figure revenue opportunity that you could chase after. And we've helped many companies, like the incredible startup Hey Monica. They were talking about training bookkeepers, trying to train bookkeepers to be better, more profitable bookkeepers. And we've created an AI agent training system to do that, which is rocketing, right? They've gone to 6 figures in annual recurring revenue in their first 30 days. And they are scaling like this. That's their AI moonshot that they've gone on. You don't need to do that right now. It's probably safer if you just make the cost-saving projects happen for your business. Okay, so those are the points. This is how AI products fail. The stakeholders are not clear on what problem they're going to solve, and they miscommunicate what problem they want to solve in their business. So get clear on the problems you want to solve. The second is that you don't need to train a proprietary model in order to be successful in AI. If you are talking about training models and you haven't yet explored what you can do with off-the-shelf models with great prompt engineering and great systemization of that process, you're kind of putting the cart before the horse. Walk before you can run. See what you can do with off-the-shelf components and move upwards in complexity and cost from there, if it makes sense for you and your business. The third way, you don't need to use the latest and greatest technology. Work with what is out there, but get very, very clear on the problem you solve and how you're going to solve that with technology. Don't just throw great technology onto the heap of already bad products and processes you have in your business. It will just make those products worse and those processes worse. Get clear. What do you want to solve? How do you want to solve it? Is AI the right technology for this? Are there other lower complexity technologies we can deploy to solve this before we even get to that point? The fourth way, build the infrastructure. The organizations that are brave enough to build the brain, the AI operating system in their business, are going to win in this game. Make sure you're storing your unstructured data in a way that AI can access it, build small agents on top of that infrastructure, and build useful, smart, intelligent ways that your internal users and your customers can access those capabilities and start to chat with your data. And finally, don't start with the hardest AI problems in your business if you've never done an AI project before. Start with the low-hanging fruit. Start to outcompete your competitors just by being more productive with them, with the small, easy, fast, and cheap experiments, which are just cost-saving projects in your business. Today, you can spin out many of these in a couple of months. And once you start to gain that capabilities, look at revenue generation, look at more complex flows, maybe just entertain the AI moonshot in your business, but do not start there.